The Gatorade Shower. It's one of the classic traditions in sports. It can be exciting to see for a variety of reasons. Maybe to confirm that your team won, or a guy just hit a home run, or sometimes to see a guy like Nick Saban pissed that he got the shower, or maybe they just couldn't find the coach. But to put all this aside, how did this even start? Why do they even do the Gatorade Shower? So I just have to say to all of you, Merry Christmas. I hope all of you enjoy this great holiday. With football season coming down to the wire, the playoffs are just around the corner. If you're a fan of any team and you haven't seen a game yet this year, the time is now. And SeatGeek is an app that puts tickets from all over the web in one area, making buying simple. These tickets are on a scale from 1 to 100, with the higher the number, the better the deal. If you go to a game right now and use my promo code KTO, you will get $20 off your first purchase. It's the holiday season, and you don't want to miss out on cheap tickets. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. During the 1960s, some coaching philosophies were rather strict. Paul Bear Bryant is considered one of the greatest coaches of all time, would not let his players drink water. At the time, it was thought that putting players into dehydration would help toughen them up. But one professor at the University of Florida knew better. He knew the importance of hydration and sodium intake along with that. With players constantly going down with cramps or even serious medical conditions that had to do with dehydration, in 1965, Dr. Robert Cade developed a concoction for the Florida Gators football team. They thought of the name Cade's Aid, but a man by the name of Jim Free suggested the name Gatorade. It stuck. Nowadays, Gatorade is the face of sports drinks and is used at pretty much every sporting event. So now, let me take you to 1986. Throughout the NFL season, the New York Giants were the best team in the league. They pretty much dominated everybody on their way to winning the Super Bowl, 17 wins. And they gave head coach Bill Parcells a Gatorade shower after every single one. Why would they decide to do this? Some claim that the first Gatorade shower was done by the Bears in November 1984, but the truth is, the Giants actually started it. Earlier in 1984, the Giants were going up against the Redskins. Before the game, Jim Burt, the defensive tackle for New York, was getting an earful from Bill Parcells. He always had given him grief. He wanted to get him angry, which it worked because he played really well. The Giants were winning big late in the fourth quarter, but Jim Burt wanted to get his revenge on Parcells.
Jim Burt takes the whole bucket and pours it on Bill Parcells' head, and then someone else throws the second bucket at him. That's what you get when you win.
He just simply wanted to get back at his coach, but instead, he created a legendary sports tradition. It didn't get popularized until 1986 though. Jim Burt thought the joke was over, but Harry Carson wanted to keep it going. He had turned it into where they would dump Gatorade on Parcells after every single win. And since he wanted to do it every single game, he had to get creative. Like this one time, Harry put on a security jacket so Parcells wouldn't recognize him. It worked. After this season, it had become such a big deal to the mainstream media, Harry Carson and Bill Parcells actually signed a deal with Gatorade. This was used to help promote the idea of the Gatorade shower, and by 1987, everyone wanted part of it. It found its way to multiple sports and has become a major tradition. There have been some pretty crazy Gatorade showers, but sometimes you wonder how some of these coaches can even take one of these baths when it's freezing outside.
You're standing, let's say, on the sidelines at Veterans Stadium. It's 15 degrees. How does that feel?
They have no mercy.
In one instance, there was a Gatorade shower that some speculate may have killed a coach. In 1990, George Allen was coaching Long Beach State and promised his football team a winning season. When they won their final game, which clinched that winning season, his players had dumped him with Gatorade. Even though it was freezing outside, he stayed outside to answer questions from the press. But immediately following the game, Allen got extremely sick and actually died 6 weeks later. But it's a myth that you can get sick from being cold and wet. He actually officially died from ventricular fibrillation, so it really didn't have anything to do with the Gatorade shower. It's just a crazy coincidence. But honestly, the one Gatorade shower that does stand out from the others is one of the most memorable moments ever.
9-yard field goal for the win.
With very little time left, Kentucky nailed this field goal to take the lead. They were just about to upset the defending SEC champion LSU. With just 2 seconds left, LSU seemed to have no chance. And that's exactly how the Kentucky players felt.
Guy Morris just got some Gatorade dumped on him. I think he'd feel a whole lot better had the clock ran out. Yeah.
Do y'all know who that is? That's the actual Hefty Lefty himself.